Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. We're about to start the stream in just a little bit. And I'll be answering a few questions I've already had sent to me. So if you have any other questions you'd like me to answer live on stream, go ahead and shoot them down in the comments. What is up, my dude? Boomer in the house. So happy to see you here, my dude. Rebecca Reviews, what is up? Happy to see you here, man. Sorry I was a couple minutes late. Yo, Video Creep, my dude. My dude. Hey, Video! How is it going, my dudes? This is my very first live stream. What is up, Rose Gonzalez? Hey, how you doing? Oh, you watched my my Scream videos. Thank you. That was a fun one to put together for sure. I loved that one. Let me actually make this just a bit bigger. Whoop. There you go. Now you can see my noggin. What's up, Burton? What is up, my dude? How are you today? I'm so happy to be doing my very first live stream here on YouTube. Let me know if the music is too loud. Brandon, what is up, my guy? How are you doing, my friend? Let me know if the music's too loud. I'm using some copyright-free music here. If you guys are interested in what I'm listening to, let me go ahead and share that in the chat. It's an awesome mix of like horror synth and tip of the hat, milady. So I'm gonna go ahead and start jumping into questions because that's what we're here for, right? We're here to like talk some shit, see how everyone's doing. Yeah, dude, this is, I found this random channel that, has totally royalty-free, no copyright music, called, White Rabbit Radio, and, they're dope. They got some dope music. So yeah, dudes, we're gonna do a few things here today. We're gonna be doing the live AMA. I've got some questions here on my cell phone, and then we're gonna go through 31 days of Halloween. Crazy you started this now. I just watched the Urban Legend Blu-ray. I won. Yeah, dude, that's right. I remember that, dude. Oh man, that was when I hit 400 subscribers. Man, freaking time flies, right? So yeah, we're gonna be doing live AMA, then we're gonna do 31 days of Halloween. I'm gonna talk about what's coming up for that, and all the cool little details for October. It's gonna be insane. And then I have some new merch announcement, which I'm very excited about, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's go ahead and jump right into the AMA. I'm gonna turn this music down just a little bit. All right. So my first question is, this one is from Instagram, and it's from Jay the Hipster. Yo, my homie Nez. Yo, you guys need to go and check out the Mac Nez podcast. This is my dude. I've known this guy for, it feels like a couple of years. Dope ass podcast, dope ass dude. You gotta go and show him some love. Happy to see you here, brother. You're a whiskey and 2 beers in and you're ready to go. I love it. I love that energy. Alright, so my buddy Jay the Hipster asked, what was the very first horror movie that you saw in the theater? Oh, dude, you should totally get it signed. You should totally get that signed, Brandon. So the very first horror movie I ever saw in theaters, it was 1988, and it was Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. That was the very first one I ever saw. I must have been like 4 years old when that came out. Cleo is going to make a little appearance here probably in a minute. I was eating burritos before I started this stream, so let me move this out of the way. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and shoot your questions down in the comments below, and I'll answer them. But yeah, very first horror movie I ever saw was freaking Jason Takes Manhattan. And it was really cool, you know. It was cool to see Jason on the big screen. I was probably about 4 years old or so, and it was a pretty amazing experience as a little kid. And actually, was that 88? I think it was 88 or 89 when I saw that. The beans and cheese. Yeah, Video Creep knows what's up. Video Creep came by yesterday, and I made some bean and cheese burritos for the two of us. But yeah, that was the very first horror movie I saw in theaters. The very first movie I ever saw in theaters, which is one of my favorite all-time movies ever, and it's non-horror, is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I saw that in San Francisco with my family, and it was one of those things where I walked into the cinema, and you know how they have, like, in some of those old school theaters, how they'll have like those little glass cases and you can see all the merchandise inside and all that shit. They had like this dope Indiana Jones bomber jacket and this hat, and my dad got it for me, and I remember sitting in the theater watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's the very first time I ever saw a movie on the big screen, and it blew my like 5-year-old mind. It was incredible experience, and I was a big Indiana Jones fan as a kid. So there you go. All right, we got a couple more questions here. Let me go ahead and get through a couple more of the questions that I got earlier, and then I will get to Nez with his question, and then Brandon with his. So the next question I have here is from my girl Rebecca Reviews. She is an amazing Patreon supporter, and in case you guys have not checked out my Patreon, which I highly recommend you do, because it's a great way to support the channel, and you also get some perks. And let me go ahead and give you guys that link. Uno momento, my friends. I'm gonna post that link in the chat. But if you guys want to support Desmond's Flicks, what I do, you get access to all kinds of shit, even at the first tier. I'm doing part 2 of my Plague Tale Innocence playthrough. It'll be coming out later this week. Fucking fantastic game. Part 1 released about 2 weeks ago, and it's about a 2-hour video of just like straight up gameplay. But yeah, check out the Patreon page. But here is a question from Rebecca Reviews, and her question is, what inspired you to become a YouTube movie reviewer to begin with? That's just a very good question. So it was one of those things that kind of evolved over time. I actually started my Video Creep. Okay, I can't wait to answer this one. I'm getting to that for sure. But I actually like originally started like reviewing action figures a long time ago. Video Creep seen them. And that was kind of how I dipped my toe into it a few years back. And then I would say at the end of, 2017 was when I started watching a lot of horror tubers. Started watching Drum Dums and Dead Meat, Spooky Astronauts. Those were like the first 3 that I was watching on a regular basis, which are all fantastic content creators. And when I was watching them, especially like Spooky Astronauts and Drum Dums, I was like, I could do this. They know a lot about horror. I know a lot about horror. I love talking about horror movies, and I want a way to be able to... Oh my god, Burton. That's another good question. You guys are killing me. So I just thought to myself, if they can do that, I can do that. And they inspired me. So I went ahead and, okay, we need a TMNT action figure review. Oh, snap. You have a Dead Meat hoodie? Nice. Dead Meat's dope. You know, James A. Janice, he's like fucking top tier content creator. You're so good. But yeah, that was kind of what inspired me, was seeing those guys doing that and seeing their love of horror and me wanting to share that and be able to connect with other horror fans. And they're a little cringy. They're a little cringy. But it was one of those things where I just started a channel. My very first review that I did on this channel, maybe we'll even watch it together later and we can react to it, because it was when I was just using my phone, and I was recording the video footage off of my TV, and then I'd record my voiceover on my phone. And the first two reviews I did were Ghost Ship and Terrifier. And I was surprised how many views I got right off the bat. And so I was like, oh, this is fucking fun. I want to keep doing this. And so that's kind of how it evolved. I would say probably at the beginning of 2019 is when I started taking YouTube really seriously and, you know, really wanting to make this my career. So yeah, it's a long-winded answer, but that's kind of the evolution of how I got to where I am today. James and Chelsea seem really sweet, not to mention they're easy on the eyes. Absolutely. They are. They seem like a really sweet couple. All right, so another question here. Let me pull this up out of my phone. And this one is from another Patreon supporter. Big shout out again to my homie Boomer. Boomer on Twitter. Boomer, if you can, drop your Twitter handle. Same thing for you too, Rebecca Reviews. Drop your Twitter down there. Be sure to follow these guys on Twitter. They're super active. Boomer has been a massive supporter of mine. He's also a Patreon supporter. Love you, my dude. And his question was, is there a movie you would never review? So, and this is a very good question. One of the movies that I feel like, probably even franchises, there's only 3 movies in it, but I don't think I'd ever review the Jeepers Creepers movies, because I don't want to give any attention to the director. I don't even want to say his name, because I just think that he's a terrible human being. So I don't want to give the dude any type of publicity. It's the one franchise of films I would never review, because I feel like you know, you gotta vote with your wallet, and I don't want to spend any time or any money to support that D-bag. So yeah, that's a good question. All right, so maybe scroll up here. We got a few other questions. We're gonna get to Nez's question. He said, "What was the worst of the worst horror film you've seen in the theater?" Ooh, that's a hard one, because there's a couple of them that were just fucking terrible. The first one that comes to mind is Fear.com with Steven Dorff, and it was like this killer internet thing, and if you got onto this website, it would kill you, and it was so fucking stupid, and it was really frustrating, and I don't remember a fucking thing about it, but I remember it being really dumb. And the other movie is the remake of The Fog, which I think is probably even worse than Fear.com, because that film was just completely incompetent. not scary. It felt like a CW movie, and yeah, bored the fuck out of me. And just like The Fog by John Carpenter is an underrated classic in my opinion, and to do John Carpenter dirty like that, no bueno, no bueno. Boomer was saying his first podcast is dropping in October. Dope, man. I am so fucking excited for you, dude. I know that you've been wanting to get into the content creation game, and I'm so happy that you are. You're gonna have a fucking blast, dude. You be sure to send me that link as soon as that goes up, so I can go ahead and shoot that out to everyone. Am I the only one who actually likes Fear.com? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if others like it. For me, personally, I didn't like it. I know some folks like it, but for me, I personally hated it. But I also, hate Death House, which I think some people actually like, which, hey, you do you, boo-boo. Let's get to our next question, which is from Brandon. What's your most valuable VHS tape and your favorite? Ooh, that's a good question. I would say I have a feeling it's probably My Bloody Valentine. Fucking awesome movie, of course. But yeah, I have a feeling that it's this because I think I paid a pretty good amount for this. Not anything crazy, but I'm such a fan of this film that I had to have it in my VHS collection. So I think this may be the most valuable one. I think. But if we're talking about favorites, I would say, what's one that I watch a lot? You know, honestly, and this is like a criminally underrated movie, but for some reason, I love watching Maniac Cop on VHS. This is, to me, one of the best horror sequels made. This almost made my top 5. I think this would be in my top 10 horror sequels. You definitely want to check this one out, for sure. It's massively underrated. And also, you know, I have a feeling that Sleepaway Camp 2 may be pretty valuable as well. My friend gave me this. He was throwing away a bunch of his old tapes, and this is one of them that he gave me, and I was so pumped to get this. I love this cover art. All right, next question. Right? It is. Maniac Cop is fucking dope. You saw Fear.com in theaters as well, Boomer? Oh shit, man. Yeah, both the Maniac Cop movies are good. Hold on to that one. All right, cool. Yeah, I have a feeling I have quite a few that are pretty valuable. I got Dead Alive back there too. It's, you know, I have a pretty good amount of VHS tapes that I'm very happy to have. So let's see. Next question. All right, Video Creep. This is his question. How would you kill a village of Smurfs? Sub question: if an evil version of yourself killed a village of Smurfs, how would you stop your evil self? Okay. So I know for me that as me now, I couldn't do it because Smurfs are adorable and, you know, they're cute little blue guys. I can't do that. But if there was an evil me and this evil me was fucking up some Smurfs, I feel like one of the things I would do is I'd have to have like a bomb-ass joint, like some kind of like, you know, purple kush, like you got all the fucking crystals on it and it's hella furry and it's like, ooh, this is like some dank fucking devil's lettuce that is going to take you all the way to fucking Neverland. You're gonna be high as giraffe pussy. And I show this to my evil self, and my evil self has that moment where he's just like, you know what? Yeah, I feel like I'd rather get high than kill Smurfs. Because killing Smurfs is a lot of work, and I'd rather, like, just smoke with, like, my evil self and vice versa, and fucking eat burritos and smoke a joint. Why the fuck not? At least that's how I like to think that I would beat my evil self. Very creative question, of course. I mean, shit, it's video creep. Next question is from my dude Burton. Alright. Would you rather fight 100 toddlers or 5 werewolves? Also, side question, how many toddlers could you beat up? Shit. I think I'd rather take on the toddlers, because you could really just, like, punt them. Like, Smurfs, I don't want to fuck up, but babies and toddlers, I don't really care. They're little crotch demons. I'm fine with that. So I feel like I could punt them. I could distract them with shiny objects, like throw shit, and they would just, like, follow it. I feel like I could beat up, like, I could beat up a solid 10 toddlers easily. If we're talking about me, like, post-workout Des, then maybe like 20, because I'm still hyped up on, like, my pre-workout drink. So yeah, toddlers for sure. I'd beat the fuck out of some toddlers. Alright, so the next question, James and Chelsea, we did that. Okay, so we got another question from, if you had to get and this is from Video Creep. If you had to get a baby drunk for one reason or another, what album would you place to help get the baby drunk enough to dance? The Macarena. I feel like the Macarena would do it, because that would be easy. Dun 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 dun, hey, Macarena. And it's kind of adorable watching a baby dance the Macarena. So I don't know. Plus, I don't remember how to do Macarena, so this would be a great opportunity for me to relearn it again. And it just seems like a fun dance to do. That or the electric slide. Yeah, one of those two would be the fucking jam. Also, your other videos weren't cringe at all, dude. Aw, thanks, man. Thanks. I think it's more of just, like, looking at yourself from, like, years back, and you're like, oh god, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so our next one. Let's see if we got any more questions here. Toddlers are evil, dude. Brendan said, I beat my evil twin by just locking him in a cuss-off. I'm a sailor, so I'd have to out insult myself. Dude, that would be freaking hilarious. I would love to see that. Okay, so we got another question from Boomer. What is the best movie to watch while drunk? May need a suggestion for after this. Alright, I got a few. Blood Rage is fucking awesome to watch drunk or stoned or with a group of friends. That movie is fucking hilarious. Night of the Comet. That's a fun movie. If you're looking outside of the horror genre and you're just looking for, like, a fun movie that's just, like, off the wall, I think you can probably find them on YouTube, but Vinegar Syndrome recently released them on their VSA release, and they're LA Wars and Savage Dawn. LA Wars is a really bad early 90s action movie that's almost so good it's bad, like Samurai Cop, which is also another movie you should watch when you're drunk or stoned. And then Savage Dawn stars Lance Henriksen, and he's like this badass biker dude. I think the movie came out in like 1985, and he's like doing like fucking jump kicks off of a bike, and he's beating up like William Forsythe comes in rolling in on a fucking tank with Karen Black like hanging off of it. It's a batshit crazy movie. One of the dudes from Naked Gun is in there. It's a fun fucking movie. But those are a few recommendations I'd give. Those are ones that I usually watch after I've like smoked a joint and I just want to have a good time. Rebecca Reviews has another question, and that is, so how many DVDs, VHS tapes do you actually own? Ooh. That's a good question. I haven't actually counted. I'd say VHS, probably, if I can guesstimate, I'd say probably close to 100 VHS tapes, I'd say. Probably about 100. DVDs, I would say, DVDs might be like another 100, but I have more Blu-rays. Last I counted my Blu-rays, I was like over 400, maybe 450, but I have a very big collection. Video Creep's seen it in person. He was actually going through a few of those movies yesterday when he came by. But yeah, that's what I would say is like roundabout how many I have. Good guesstimate. And don't know why I haven't asked this sooner. What's your favorite book? Horror or otherwise, of course. Ooh. My favorite book is The Road. I love that book. It's a very powerful book. That and what was it called? I think it was Son of God is another one, both by Cormac McCarthy. He's one of my favorite writers. Cormac McCarthy wrote the book for No Country for Old Men. Fantastic writer. You do have to kind of get used to his prose because the way that he writes is a little odd. But his storytelling is incredible, and The Road is just perfection. And Brandon asked, how do you feel about House of a Thousand Corpses and all of Rob Zombie's movies? That's actually a good idea for a video. I could do a whole video on Rob Zombie's filmography. Trevor has a very good question. And thank you for joining us, Trevor. I'm going to answer your question in a bit, my man. So I would say I'm a bit hit or miss with Rob Zombie's movies. I appreciate the guy's vision. He has a very specific vision for what he wants to do, and I got a lot of respect for him. My favorite Rob Zombie movie, which might surprise you guys, is actually Lords of Salem. I think that film is his best one, mostly because of the fact that he does something completely different with that movie. It doesn't feel like the other films that he puts out. It feels very different from, House of a Thousand Corpses, the Halloween movies. It feels like he's kind of getting more outside of his comfort zone. I unfortunately didn't like 3 from Hell. I really wanted to like 3 from Hell. I wanted to love it. And there were things that I liked about it, and there were ideas in there that I liked, but it just didn't work for me. So yeah, I mean, I'm a bit hit or miss. I will defend Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie anytime, because I think that that's actually better than the first Halloween movie that he did. I do like House of a Thousand Corpses, but I like Devil's Rejects more. That's actually one of my favorite sequels, is Devil's Rejects. Didn't really like 31. Are there any other ones that I've missed? I have a feeling I'm probably missing something. But yeah, I like what he does. I don't love his movies, but I like what he does, and I respect the guy because he's got a fucking vision. Dude, yeah, it's great to hear that others dig Lords of Salem. I think that movie is so fucking creepy. You know, when that music is going and, you know, she's slowly kind of going down this rabbit hole and there's all these, you know, I gotta do an in defense of Lords of Salem because I feel like that movie gets so much more hate than it deserves. Yeah, the fucking demon baby at the end is kind of weird and funky and weird, but it also goes in with the aesthetic that he has. He has that, you know, retro aesthetic to his stuff. So yeah, very good question, man. So did you enjoy American Werewolf in Paris? Very good question. I haven't seen that since I saw it in the theaters. So it's been, that came out like in 96? So yeah, it's been since 96 since I saw it. I remember when I saw it with my dad actually. I remember liking it okay. Didn't love it, but it's hard for me to say how I feel about it now because I haven't seen it since the 90s. That's one that I have to give a rewatch on. I gotta give that one a rewatch. P.S. By the way, if you want to request a movie for me to review, you can become a Patreon at the $10 level or above and request your movie review. P.S. By the way, P.P.S. By the way, Rebecca Reviews, don't forget to send me your movie review that you want me to do because you are on that $10 level. So send me your movie review, girl. Try to get it out by the end of this month or maybe November. One of the two, because October is going to be fucking nuts. All right. Very good question, though. We did that. Okay. Another question from Burton. We got, you escaped hell, beat heaven. What is the first thing you eat after? Ooh. What's the first thing I eat? Bro, I'm such a burrito dude. I love burritos. It would either be like a fucking big ass fucking burrito with like cheese and sour cream and like all the fucking fixins, or I would go like Filipino food because I'm part Filipino. I might go like with Filipino with like, you know, pancit, lumpia, and some chicken adobo. And some white rice in there. Ooh, yeah. That's what I'm eating. After I get out of hell, that's the very first meal I'm going to eat. It's a traditional Filipino meal with fucking chicken adobo, lumpia, pancit, and some rice. Delicious. Okay. Drunken Baby Macarena is definitely the move. I agree, Video Creep. I thought you would approve. All right, we got... oh, wait, I think I skipped Trevor's question. Let me scroll back up. Oh, here we go. I'm going to answer Trevor's question now, which is, since you have the indomitable Cthulhu as your logo, what's your favorite Lovecraft-inspired movie? Very good question. We actually were talking... Dude, Boomer, be sure to send me your request too, bro. It probably won't be until November, but be sure to send that for me, man. Let me remind myself again what the question was. Okay, Lovecraft-inspired movie. What's my favorite? So we were actually watching this the other night. We were doing... we were tweeting along. Boomer actually invited me on Twitter. It was hashtag Sunday Scares. If you guys are on Twitter, be sure to like follow Boomer and like Mutant Fam, all those guys. Follow me at Desmond's Wicks. And on Sunday they do the hashtag Sunday Scares. And this past Sunday it was Dagon. And Dagon is actually my favorite Lovecraft-inspired film. even though it's not the story of Dagon, it's actually the story of the Mountains Over Innsmouth. That's the story that it's based on. But yeah, I love that movie. It's criminally underrated. Another movie that I have to review on my channel that I just haven't gotten around to. But I'm super stoked for that movie. I love that movie. I'm super stoked to talk about it at some point as a review. If you haven't checked out Dagon, definitely give it a watch. I believe it's streaming for free on Tubi. The CGI's outdated, but for like a low budget film by Stuart Gordon, who's one of my all-time favorite horror director. P. Stuart Gordon, fucking legend. That's one of my favorite movies by him. Rotted Review says, still waiting for a proper Shadow over Innsmouth adaptation. Dude, me too, man. I love the Lovecraft stories. You know, I want it all. I want all of it on the big screen. I want to see fucking Cthulhu on the big screen. Like, oh, that'd be so dope. It'd be so fucking dope. But yeah, very good question, Trevor. Oh yeah, Brandon, I love Audition. Audition is a super disturbing movie. Takashi Miike, of course, is a fantastic director. I love that movie so much. The piano wire scene, oh man, I grabbed, my arm, my like wrists and my ankles hurt just thinking about it. And when she's doing, like, when she's poking him with the fucking little needles, and she's like, I'm like, fuck you, bitch, you crazy fucking bitch. But yeah, dope fucking movie. Yeah, still waiting for a proper Shadow over Innsmouth adaptation. Me too, man. You know, I feel like the closest thing I've seen to like something that really captures the feeling of Lovecraft stories and the kind of vision that you have as you're thinking about Innsmouth and, you know, this you know, rainy town. Not only is Dagon a great way to illustrate that, but this video game called Call of Cthulhu that came out in 2018 is pretty fucking good. It really delves deep into the Lovecraft lore, and what I love about that movie, or that video game, is the more that you learn about Cthulhu, and if you look at any, you know, little statues, or if you read anything about Cthulhu, your character starts to go slowly insane and starts to see visions. And I love that because that's something that is so important to Lovecraft literature, is that slow descent into madness, especially if you lay eyes upon Cthulhu. Like, as soon as you look at him, you go insane. A human mind cannot comprehend what they're seeing. I'm gonna go into a little spoiler. The game is dope, right, dude? I love that movie. I love that video game. But in the film Underwater, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Underwater, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. But why I'm bringing it up is because at the very end, there's like this Cthulhu-like monster that shows up at the end of the movie, which I thought was really cool. But I have a major nitpick with that movie. If they're looking at him, and if that's fucking Cthulhu, like the director says that he is, then wouldn't everyone that sees him go fucking insane? Like, that's what happens when you see Cthulhu, is you go crazy. So that's what bugged me about that movie. It's like, they should have gone crazy. Or, you know, they should have known to, like, I don't know. There was something about that just irked me. Non-horror question. You ever played Pokemon? If so, what's your favorite Pokemon? I didn't. I watched a little bit of Pokemon growing up. I mean, I don't really know much about him. I mean, I think Pikachu's cute, but that's probably as much as I know. I like the little dragon dude. I think the little dragon dude is pretty fucking cute. But yeah, not much about the old Pokemon. One thing that I'm gonna jump into now, is that why Cthulhu is your mascot? Are you secretly crazy? No, I love the character of Cthulhu. I love the look of Cthulhu. And I've always wanted, when I started Desmond's Flicks, I originally had like this 80s aesthetic to it. Charmander. Yes, thank you. I like Charmander. I always thought Cthulhu was cool. And originally my logo was just more of just my name in an 80s style. You can see like my old logo and old intro in some of my older videos. But yeah, I've always just loved Lovecraft, and I thought Cthulhu looked fucking dope. So yeah, I made him my mascot. Maybe I'm just secretly crazy a little bit. We're all a little crazy. We all go a little crazy sometimes. So something I wanted to talk to you guys about, we're going to take a little break with the questions for a minute, and I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about what's coming up with 31 days of Halloween. Silent Tom, I'm going to get to your question in just a little bit, my friend. Thank you for the question, by the way. So what we're going to talk about now is a bit of the what's going to be going on with 31 days of Halloween. Very excited about it. You may have seen it in my community post or on my social media, but for the entire month of October, I'm going to be doing a movie review every single day. Let me actually open up the oops, grab this over here. I'm going to show you guys. Let me pull this up very quickly. So 31 days of Halloween is what I'm gonna be doing for the entire month of October. And basically what this is gonna be is me reviewing every single film in the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween franchise. We're gonna start with Nightmare on Elm Street, then go into Friday the 13th, and then end with the Halloween franchise. So we'll review every single day. And I wanted to make a big announcement. My good buddy, my homie, Video Creep, is going to be on the first review for this series. He's joining me on my review for the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So very excited about that. And if you become a Patreon, I'll be releasing those videos early. So for the month of October, if you're a patron, you'll be getting early access to these reviews. I'm hoping to have them ready about a week in advance. I'm working on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise now. So my goal is to hopefully have the entire franchise a week before October 1st. So then that way my patrons can be able to view them early. And it's gonna be a blast. I'm so fucking excited. It's gonna be a really good time. I got some other awesome people that are going to be doing different collabs with me. I'll be announcing those as we get closer, because we're still getting down all the details. Want to make sure that we're all good to go. I don't want to like blow my load too early on these, but yeah, that is October. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, be sure to do that now so you don't miss a single video that's going to start on October 1st. Cool. I'm going to answer your question just a bit, Brandon. So that's 31 days of Halloween. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys dig it next month. And then finally, the last thing I want to announce is some new merch. So if you guys have seen my Teespring page, I'm going to go ahead and copy this into the chat. I've designed some new merch. And this latest merch was actually something that Boomer had brought up. And I totally didn't realize that I'd been saying this, and it's kind of like turned into a bit of a catchphrase. But what I say a lot of times, especially on my podcast, is I'm right there with you. So I've made some new merch that is I'm right there with you. And it's also Cthulhu inspired. So you're gonna have the cool tentacles here. It's got like that kind of Lovecraft type typography. I'm really happy with how these turned out. So there's a few different types that I've done here for merch. There's a sweater. We've got if you've got a little pet, got a little doggy, you can do get this for your dog if you want. I thought this was really cute. And a new one, of course, t-shirts and long sleeves. And then I got some zip-up hoodies. They just started releasing zip-up hoodies on Teespring. So on the front, you'll have the Desmond's Flicks logo right here. Looks super clean. I'm gonna order myself a sample of this myself. And then on the back is, oh, take my money, you bastard. And then on the back you got, I'm right there with you. So yeah, a few different types of examples, including, I put on a mug too. And then I was doing this for fun. I called this Checkmate. And this is, of course, it's the Overlook Hotel carpeting. And I turned this into a neck gaiter. So if you want to get, yourself a neck gaiter to, do some good social distance, I put this together. So, and I'm actually probably going to order this for myself too, because I like that pattern. It's pretty dope. Repping The Shining. So yeah, that is the new merch that I just dropped today. So if you guys are interested in that, I left a link to my Teespring page. It's a great way to support the channel, and quite honestly, the clothes and everything, they're so fucking comfy. Like the sweaters, they're hella comfy. So are the t-shirts. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for the support. I know you guys have been, I've noticed a few of you have bought the merch, and I appreciate the fuck out of you. Damn you and your awesome stuff. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy that Boomer brought it up, because I didn't even realize I kept saying I'm right there with you. And it just works so well with the Cthulhu type of style that it just seemed like a fun thing to do. So thank you, Boomer, for recommending that. And if you guys have any recommendations for merch you'd like to see on my store, let me know. I'd be happy to put together some new stuff. I do want to get into more outside of just my brand. Although I do like the brand stuff that I do. I love my logo personally. So if you want to rep Desmond's Flicks, you got the mascot logo. But yeah, dudes, that's the fucking merch. Have at it, my dudes. So that was, 31 days of Halloween merch. Now we're going to get back to some more questions. All right, so Silent Tom asks, what do you personally think distinguishes the horror and thriller genres? It's a very good question. I feel like it's so hard because they are so close. We think of a film that's strictly a thriller and one that's strictly a horror. So let's say for example we look at, we'll take A Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street is pure horror. Dude, for real? Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Boomer. Thank you so much, my dude. I appreciate the support. You were rocking that tea on Twitter. It made me so fucking happy. Thank you, my man. But yeah, I mean, I think of, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street is pure horror. That's something that gets to you on a very base level. It's something that is... It's hard to explain it because it's like a very primal thing. Feeling that horror, the horror of the unknown. I think that's why I gravitate so much towards Lovecraft, is because it's the horror of the unknown. So like Nightmare on Elm Street, for example, that's the horror of someone invading your dreams, invading something that is so personal, and there's that violation of that safe place that you have in your dreams. And so I think that that's more along the lines of horror, that more like base level, that primal level of what feels that feeling of undeniable dread. Whereas like a thriller, for example, let's take one of my favorite thrillers. It's also like a stalker movie. Is Single White Female. I love Single White Female. Oh, me too, man. I'm not big onto horror gatekeepers. I think that a horror is a genre that can reach into different kinds of genres. But yeah, when I think of that, like when I think of thriller, it's like fucking Single White Female, or Cape Fear, or what's it called? The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Like I love thrillers like that. I love the stalker thrillers. You know, Sleeping with the Enemy is like another one that I think is a really good thriller. It's that, you know, that sense of it's very similar to horror, but it's not so much about the kill, the gore, the unknown. I feel like with thriller, it's a lot more of, oh my god, fucking run. There's, you know, you got this crazy stalker after you. You're really rooting for this one singular character who's just trying to make it out of the film alive. So yeah, I mean, it's similar to horror, but I think that there's like some differentiation. That's not even a word. You can differentiate between the two. Sleeping with the Enemy is so great. Oh yeah, Julia Roberts was great in that movie. I haven't seen that in a long time, but fucking great movie. Brandon asks, so another non-horror question, but as an LGBT person, I'm pretty sure, do you hope for more positive rep in horror and media? Yeah, I'm, if some of you don't know, I'm trans, I'm a trans man, and what I don't necessarily, at least for me, I don't feel this overwhelming need for more LGBT people in film, but if it happens organically, I'm for it. What I don't like is feeling like it's something to virtue signal, to be like, hey, we're checking off the boxes so that we're being all inclusive. That's where I take issue, because I don't want to feel that I'm being pandered to as a trans man. That the only reason why I should watch this film is because there is someone who's trans in the movie. I'd rather see the movie based on the film and the content itself. If the character happens to be trans or gay or lesbian or whatever, cool. But I don't want that to be the primary the primary characteristic. I hate any kinds of media where they make everything about their character, their gender, or their sexuality. Because I know for me, as someone who's trans, as someone who's, you know, queer, I don't like that. I don't like to be put into this this box of like, oh, you're a trans guy. This is the box, this is the mold that you fit in, and these are the kinds of ways that you need to think as a trans man. No. it's very different for each person. For example, earlier this year, I would say like in March, Marvel, they released I think it was the New Warriors, and they created their very first transgender characters. There were like 2 of them, and I think one of them was non-binary, and one was a trans guy or a trans woman. I can't remember, but one of them was called Safe Space, and one was named Snowflake. And they just made them very stereotypical. They made everything about them just these check marks of what someone who's not transgender, who's outside of the community, who thinks transgender people are. And I don't like that. I feel like that's pandering. That's something that is not so much a thing that I like. Because I'd rather have fully fleshed out stories. I'd rather have great characters, fully fleshed out stories, and characters that, I can root for. And if I feel like in a film or whatever media it is, they're just making them gay, trans, gay, lesbian, whatever, just to, tick off a checkbox, then, I feel like that's just really fucking lame, personally. Brandon said, honestly, for me, it's not a need, more of a preference. That's how I feel, too. I would love to see some unique characters. I think an interesting thing is the character from Leprechaun in the Hood. I haven't actually finished that movie because it was so hard to watch. Such a hard movie to watch. Brandon says, as someone who isn't trans, that shit pissed me off really bad. It's insulting. Exactly, it's insulting. Because it just turns the entire community into a joke. And I feel like there are so many different kinds of facets to trans people and, just the LGBT community in general. And I feel like too many people use Twitter as a barometer as to what, a film or a comic or a TV show should be. Look at Batwoman, Great character in the comics. Yeah, she's a lesbian in the comic books, but it's not something that is constantly referenced. It's not brought up all the time. It just is. She just happens to be gay. And there are moments where it comes up that she's gay, but it's not something that is a constant talking point. And I appreciated that so much more when I was reading the book. Because at the time, when I was reading that book, when I was reading those comics, I was an out lesbian. And I was like, this is really cool representation. Because it's a badass chick, she's kicking ass, she happens to be gay, but it's not her entire character. And I feel like that's where the show really missed the mark. They made it all about her being gay. And that's not who Batwoman is. She's so much more than that. Plus, the casting of Ruby Rose is way off. Local legends Bert Moran asked a question: would you ever randomly send someone pics of feet? Side question: why do people keep sending me pics of feet? If I start an OnlyFans, then it will be filled with pictures of my adorable tootsies. So if you want tootsies, let me know and I'll start an OnlyFans and maybe I'll get some cute tootsies. One day it'll be, a pinky toe. The next day, might be my big toe, who knows? And why do people keep sending you pics of your feet? Maybe you put out that energy. The like, hey, I like feet. Especially the big toe on the right foot. Perfect type of toe. All right, Trevor asks, what's your take on the Soska twins and their brand of horror? Love their writing. I love them. Yeah. Loved American Mary. Thought that was a fantastic film. I enjoyed Rabid. I want to watch it again, but I really did dig it. I like their take on it. And See No Evil Part 2 was really good. I thought that was way better than the sequel. And it was cool seeing both Danielle Harris and Catherine Isabel in that movie together. I thought that was just such a fun fucking movie. Really good question. But yeah, dudes, I mean, that's kind of the whole stream, but we can hang out. We can shoot the shit. I don't know what else I was gonna do on here. This was mostly just me shooting the shit with you guys about, you know, what's going on with Desmond's flicks. Any of your questions? One thing I do want to show you guys. I just got this in the mail today. So, I love collecting statues and figures. I don't collect them as much anymore because it's a very expensive hobby and I'm not wealthy. And but one of the things, smoke a blunt, and that's something I'm gonna do tonight for sure. I'll be smoking a blunt later for sure. But I'm also a big gamer. That's why, like, on my Patreon, I've been like uploading. On my Patreon, I've been uploading gaming footage. So, one of my favorite video games of all time is Mortal Kombat, and I just got this bad boy in. It's Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. I pre-ordered this bad boy a couple months back. And this is from Diamond Collectibles. Fucking incredible piece. And the detail on this is insane. But yeah, this just came in today. And as soon as I saw it, I popped a little boner. Not gonna lie. It's so fucking sick, dude. I hope... I gotta check if they've done like a Scorpion one. But the detail on this is amazing. It's so amazing. But yeah, big Mortal Kombat fan. Okay, we got a few other questions. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke a blunt for sure later. That's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna, like, smoke a fat joint and edit some videos. I still gotta edit a few more Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Because I reviewed the remake as the first video. I reviewed that last week. It's coming out sometime on the 9th of October. Because I was having a bad day, so I just ripped fucking the Nightmare on Elm Street remake a new asshole. And it was so, like, cathartic. It was an amazing experience. So I'm probably going to edit that later while I'm smoking. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca said it's cool to actually see you on screen. Just saying. Thank you. Yeah, I figured for the live stream it would be cool to show my noggin, to show the whole face. I have a tendency to, yeah. I figured I'd show my noggin on screen. Local Legends asked, how was making a video with Video Creep? Dude, it was a fucking blast, man. What's funny is Video Creep actually lives about 8 minutes away from me. So we saw each other twice over the last couple of days. He came over on Saturday. It was our first time meeting in person. Actually, let me find the photo. I only posted it on our, if you haven't joined Coffin Grounds, by the way, you gotta join Coffin Grounds on Facebook. Dope fucking group. Here, I'll actually put that in the chat. But you pull up this photo real quick because yeah, Video Creep came over to my place on Saturday, or no, Friday. Oh, where'd it go? Here we go. So, This was on Friday. So Video Creep came over to my place on Friday. And we literally just like chilled for the day. We like started to work on the Nightmare on Elm Street review that day, but we just like didn't get around to doing it completely because we were just so stoked to finally meet each other. This was our first time meeting in person. And you know, just realizing that we only live about 8 minutes away from each other just made the experience so much more fun. Oh, excuse me. That was a burrito. Anyways, it was so much fun to have him over. Yeah, we just like we watched a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street, watched a bit of Blood Games. We got I made us burgers. We had like burgers, and yeah, we just like hung out for hours that day. And then he came back over on Monday, and we just like worked on the video together on Monday, which was a blast, because we literally got to sit right next to each other and make the video together, which, you know, I haven't been able to do that before with anyone. So it was cool to have a fellow content creator in the room with me, and we just made the video together right there on the spot, and it was magical. Honestly, it was super magical. There were fucking, unicorns flying through the air. There was confetti. I feel like I heard angels singing. Like it was a moment. So yeah, it was a blast. It was a fucking blast. And I mean, Video Creep is just a good fucking dude. Becca said, I feel special. I got to see a different pic from that night. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of hugs. We were so happy to finally meet each other. Video Creep is my dude. He's my homie. Love that guy. Can't speak highly enough about him. And yeah, Coffin Grounds does kick ass. If you guys are on Facebook and you're not on Coffin Grounds, be sure to go and join that group. It's really fun. Everyone there is super cool, super sweet, very like just fun horror group, no bullshit, and we just have a lot of fun. Plus you can like talk with me and like Video Creep and a bunch of other folks that are other content creators. So come by Coffin Grounds. Don't waste any time. He's pretty awesome. So glad you two got to hang out. Yeah, man, it was so much fun hanging out. We had the best time together. And more to come for sure in the future. I mean, the fact that we live so close to one another, it's almost like a necessity that we have to hang out. Instantly best friends forever. Oh, we got Cleo knocking stuff over. If some of you guys don't know, I got a little kitty. Let me actually turn this camera around because she's right over here. This is where she sits. My cat, Cleo. She sits in her little corner over here whenever I work on videos. Let me see if I can get her on the camera here. Oh, can we get her? Getting a bit precarious here. You can oh, there she is. There's Cleo. This is my little girl Cleo right here. So whenever I'm editing videos, she's usually sitting right here. She's always knocking these over. These like little standees that I got from, what's it called? Knee-High Horror. She just sits here, hangs out while I make videos, distracting me because she's really adorable and I just want to pet my cat. Yeah. My little buddy. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. And I think that I'll probably do more live streams like this. This is a lot of fun. Keep it super casual. Maybe we might make this a weekly thing, and we'll have to like come up with different themes for them, which I'm totally like game for. If you guys have suggestions for other lives, I could always do a gaming live stream, which could be a lot of fun. I'd be totally game for doing a live stream where I play some games and shit like that. But open to recommendations. Let me know what you guys think. And for the very first like solo live stream, this was a ton of blast. A ton of blast. A blast? Not a ton of blast. Words and things. I haven't even smoked a joint yet, and I'm already talking like a stoner. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. This was a fucking blast. I will not put that out. That is definitely not out of the question. That could be something that may happen, especially since we live so close. I could literally go over to his place and we could do a live together. So that may be something that we do in the near future, which would be a fucking blast. But yeah, dudes, this was a ton of fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for all of your questions, and thank you for hanging out and subscribing to the channel. Thank you again to my amazing patrons. Again, guys, if you want to support the channel, and it's definitely not necessary, but if you want to support the channel, it's a great way to, help out Desmond's flicks. Help me, it basically goes back into supporting the channel, into what I do. And it's a great way to get some perks too, like movie reviews and other exclusive content. Like I said, I'm gonna be working on the second part to A Plague Tale: Innocence. The last video is about 2.5 hours long. I'm guessing it'll probably end up being another 2 hours for this next video. But yeah, my dudes, see you guys later. Thank you for hanging out, and I hope you guys have a fucking awesome night. Peace.